Welcome. This is David. Today I want to talk about transhumanism, and I believe the current age, in a very different way, is about progressing to a technocratic, transhumanist age. Not in a way that a lot of people might think, though. A lot of people kind of think of this sci-fi movie aspect of it, and those are true, by the way. There are truthful aspects to it, but I think especially the current events that are going on, you know what I'm referring to. I think ultimately the current events are is about that. But I want to talk about a little bit more about focus on some more lesser known aspects of transhumanism that people might not notice. This is based on some of the articles I read, like Paul Scullis's article on transhumanism. I don't agree with everything he wrote in that article. Obviously, his evolutionist points, the hominid point, the I do believe in the concept of Lindy, but I don't believe that we're all gonna just return to Lindy eventually, and we're just gonna return to a more primal. I don't agree with that. I don't believe that's really gonna happen. I think we're past that age, as blackpilling as that might sound. But there's a lot of really good insights in his article, and one of them is, first of all, that transhumanism is really nothing new. You can think most people think of transhumanism as, first of all, the kind of base presupposition of this ideology will probably be that we are just sparks of consciousness that exist in a body, and we have to kind of transcend it. And the next step of evolution for us will be to adopt machinery and to be able to, evolve in that to kind of dictate our evolution. In fact, Deus Ex, I believe Human Revolution is that. I believe it's the second. I it's not mankind whatever. It's this. It's the game before that where that line is straight up used. I mean, humankind directing their own evolution is like one of the main points uh, that one of the major characters make in that. So it's been a while since I played that game, but one of the main presuppositions of transhumanism is about transcending age, and it's to defeat time. I was watching Sam Hyde. We all know and love Sam Hyde, uh, great comedian and all that, funny skits. But at the same time, he also has, I think, very good and practical life advice when he really wants to do that, and he does want to do that a lot, it seems. One of the things he said in his video was the number one resource you have, and a lot of his audience is, late teenagers, early to late 20s, right? Just generally 20-year-olds, one of who might not have much of a direction in their life. He says that one resource, the most important resource you have is time. And the point he's making is basically don't waste your time just doing your hobbies. You need to learn some skills and all that kind of stuff. But it made me think, what do we have that elites don't, right? Most elites are 50, 60, 70 years old. Time is not on their side. They don't have much time left. We have that. They don't, right? If you think of a lot of the elites, I believe Joe Biden is one of them. I believe it might be Rothschild or one of the royal houses. Maybe a Rockefeller had a young blood transfusion. Like he had a blood transfusion surgery 4 or 5 times before ultimately just dying. I forgot who he was. You guys watching this, you probably know who I'm talking about. You can write it in the comments. You can fill in that information. But um, we have developed a lot of medical techniques, so to speak, to alleviate the elite's war against time, basically, because these people have strong convictions, whatever worldview they believe, and they do believe in their worldview, which all of these worldviews are fundamentally materialist, whether it's Hinduism, perennialism, might even be atheism. What a common point they have is that they don't really care what other people believe; they only care about what themselves, and they want to, they just want to do what they want. People like them who have amassed considerable amounts of wealth and resources, you seriously don't think that they're just going to stop. Oh, they're going to look at time. Oh, well, I guess we can't really transcend time. So, I mean, I guess I'll just give up. We'll just wait for us to die and we'll have fun until then. No. These people, once they've amassed everything they have, they want to amass even more. Time itself. And I will say that once, in their view, once they conquer time, then they could truly become lower lowercase gods, right? That's what they ultimately want to be in order and to completely amass control. they have to conquer time. And technology is moving to a stage where this is looking to be possible. But one of the necessary things they need, I believe, is they need people to kind of also be accepting of this. Right now, we won't really accept, really, we will not accept such a thing at this current moment. It will be too far even for a lot of normies. But I think one of the aims is to move there. And I believe the current, whatever is happening is part of that. And I want to elaborate that later on. But I will say the earliest transhumanists, and this is an argument Paul makes, I agree, is that the earliest transhumanists are people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you could say Sylvester Stallone, Vince McMahon. They take, hormone therapy, injections, and all of these things in order to optimize their body and ultimately to optimize their existence. All of this is about transhumanism. Just because they don't inject, nanotechnological particles into their body doesn't mean it's not transhumanism, or that transhumanism is not about it. Transhumanism is really, I would say, fundamentally about transcending the body, transcending the human, to become more than human, basically. Isn't there a game like that, Detroit Become Human, right? Maybe, I haven't played that game, but maybe there's that team in that game as well. A lot of people think that transhumanism is going to be like those cool sci-fi movies, like Blade Runner. I'm gonna be like the guy from Deus Ex. I'm gonna have all of these enhancements. My body's gonna be powerful. I'm gonna have jetpacks on my feet. I'm gonna be flying everywhere. I'm gonna be lifting massive buildings. I'm gonna be running really fast, and I'm never gonna get tired. That is not going to happen. You're not going to have that future. You know what you're going to have? You're going to be dependent on machines in order to stay alive, in order to even feel any pleasure. And you're going to be dependent on them. You're going to be slaves to those machines. And most importantly, you're going to be the test subjects. And the best part is you're going to want to be the test subject. And do you know, how do I know this? Well, I will explain now, but the current events that are going on right now gives me a very good indication of what is going to happen. And I will explain my logic behind why that is the case. The reason I think why something like this will be necessary is, again, when the people that want to take advantage of this, who want to attempt to transcend age and time, it will not be good for them if there were a lot of people that will be opposed to that, right? It will be good for them if people were just, they just clapped and were like, oh, I'm happy you guys became immortal. That sounds great. I wish I could become immortal, but I guess my body's not compatible with the nanomachines yet. That's what these people are going to be thinking, okay? You're not gonna have those cool mainframe hack moments. You're not gonna have any of that. You're not gonna be Ghost in the Shell. You're not gonna be these cool dudes. Okay, you are going to be the background character that no one cares about, and you're probably going to die very early, or maybe you're going to die very late. You're going to die when you're 150 years old, and your entire life is going to be just full of misery, and you wish you could have just died. Maybe they might even have suicide machines. I mean, at that stage, who even knows? But so how are the current events related to all of these things that I'm talking about? Instead of kind of elaborating in high detail what I mean, but I just want to give you kind of like a line, like a bunch of events that are connected with each other and that just progresses to something, right? So let's say, influenza outbreak, everyone's getting sick. Let's mask up and do temperature checks. Well, that doesn't work. Well, we got to do social distancing now. We got to lock down, okay? We have to lock down. Everyone's getting sick, old people especially. They're going down like flies. 0.06% of them are dying. That's a lot of people, okay? We gotta lock down stuff. It's just gonna be a couple of weeks. Oh, people are still getting infected. They're still dying. Oh, I guess it's gonna be more than that, right? Okay, we gotta develop a new injection protection. You know what I'm referring to, right? Let's start developing on that. All right, we've finished. Now we can kind of start going back to normal a little bit, but let's take these injection protections before we can go back to normal. Okay, good, we have done that. Oh, wait a second. That's not enough. People are still getting sick. People are still getting ill, and people are still dying. I guess we're going to have to lock down again, or maybe We might have to, give you more injections so that, you just don't get infected. Eventually, with enough injections and lockdowns, maybe people start coming to the conclusion, hey, there are different viruses coming now. There are different, infections, and they're even more deadly and they're even more dangerous to us. And we're taking all of these, we're listening to the experts, and it's just not working. And now the lethality rate is like 1%, 2%. It's like, oh no, no, 1% is too high. It's like 0. I don't know, 0.05%. Oh, 0.05% lethality rate every minute in America. 60-second passes. That's insane. We can't have that. But we've done everything, right? We've locked down everything. We have taken the injections. We have taken the boost, right? We've done everything. What can we do more? Oh, thankfully, we're doing very well on technology, and we have developed cybernetic technology that might help us fight this. And maybe we should, inject this into our bodies so we can have machinery help us fight against these diseases so we can survive. Do you see where I'm going with this? Right? Oh, well, you think that's gonna stop there? Oh, now these machines, we gotta have upgrades against it. We gotta install even more so that you don't get hurt by these machines. We solved the virus problem. Now we just gotta fix the software issues and all that. We'll just insert this one too, and it's like, oh, people are gonna start thinking, oh, look, my body's just weak. The smallest thing, it just gets sick. I just can't fight against it. The core of the transhumanist revolution, I believe, is going to be hatred and trying to escape the body. And this is kind of a Gnostic idea where you try to escape, kind of like this Hellenic, Gnostic, maybe even Platonist idea of trying to escape the body, because the body is a cage and your soul is a bird that wants to be free and wants to fly away, and it wants to move to the next world, or to transcend the body, and to truly become something more than the flesh, right? People will want that. People themselves will want that. And I know that because people themselves want to be part of experimental treatments in order to not be infected by a little itsy bitsy creature that has a 0.03% chance to kill you, right? Something like that. People have already taken injections. They have already done everything they can to protect themselves. And the more this goes on, and the more people start to distrust their own bodies, my body's immune system is just not good enough. I just need something more. We need to be, medicines are good, but we need something more than that. These are becoming problems, that even medicine itself can't solve. You move it, you introduce these technologies and these revolutions with things like this. Okay, just like how, remember, 20th century, how did they introduce the communist revolution? Do you think they just said, oh, let's just like kill a lot of people and install a new government? No, that's not how it did, right? It is to create a reason for people to, at first glance, believe in. So when it actually happens, it doesn't matter, because once it takes place, it's very difficult to take it away, right? Once it's installed, the people that wanted it installed already have done what they want. It's the same thing with, if you run an organization, let's say you supply things, and you put a guy in charge, like a new guy in charge, and if he performs, underperforms, you can't just, kick him, especially if he has friends, right, in the organization that are also leaders. It's going to turn into politics, right? You're going to have to, even if you're leading it, just kicking him out is going to make a lot of your workers unhappy, which is going to cause more problems. That's kind of the analogy I would like to use for this situation. Once you've installed something that is there to stay, it's really difficult to uproot it. Okay, you can't really uproot it as much. The same thing, once you install machines into a man's body, try to uninstall it. You can't. Okay, you can uninstall applications from a computer, but you can't uninstall machines from your body. That's just not going to happen. That's not even going to be a possibility. I can guarantee you that. And once we become dependent on these machines, the nightmare scenario occurs there, right? Again, Blade Runner. You're not going to be the guy who's going to be having x-ray visions and fulfill whatever desire you want. You are going to have those new eyes, right? But that's going to be because you can't see, right? Whereas otherwise you could have seen, but because the way your body has been brought up, lack of nutrition, all that kind of stuff, you've been brought up like cattle. You're just going to become dependent on machines. And it is not a bright future that's awaiting you, my friend. It's a dark one. If you if people keep desiring this. And I think, in my personal opinion, we're just kind of moving to that. And I think this is very speculative, but I think kind of the end times, I don't like talking about end times, mark of the beast. I don't like talking about that kind of stuff. Those are things that I just don't really think much about. But I will think that really it will be those machines. I think it really makes sense that refusing to be part machine is going to be seen as the taboo, right? You might be saying, "Oh no, there's no way people won't let that happen. People have let crazier things happen this century. You think people are going to be against that? You're crazy. You're the crazy one if you think that's not going to be a possibility. If that's not going to happen." So those are just my thoughts on this topic. Maybe, I might be wrong. I might be wrong in my speculations. I don't mind if I am. So that's just my thoughts. But I do think that what we are going through right now is a forerunner of those events. And transhumanism really is, we need to stop thinking of it as just merely a technological thing, but it is about a grand narrative, a grand worldview about certain elites, certain old men that want to be God. They want to be God. They want to exist forever. They want to become immortal, right? And part of the reason all of this is going on is because these men want to do this. And really, since the Enlightenment, I will say, science, technology has progressively become a weapon to be used against us. So those are all of the things that I have in my mind for now. I'll thank you for watching this. Worst case scenario, we'll be in the streets together, brother, and we'll both be homeless as this new regime rolls on. Everything I said is satire, by the way. And thank you for watching. I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.